Hi, I'm Dr. Hanlon from the University of Central Florida, here to talk to you about PowerPoint and how to make some black slides. So one of the best features in PowerPoint, very little known, not in most of the books about PowerPoint and how to use PowerPoint, is the black slide. Sometimes we call it the black slide, sometimes we call it the blank slide. It's basically just putting up a black slide. And you can either create a black slide or you can do one on the fly, which means in the moment of your presentation. So I'm going to show you how to do it in the moment of your presentation. First, this is just a couple PowerPoint slides from a couple classes that I have in my face-to-face class. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in slideshow mode. Come on, go. There we go. And when we click on it, it just goes slide to slide to slide. Well, maybe when I'm in between these things, I want to take a moment and I don't want to get right from gendered power dynamics and start talking about interaction styles. I want to take a moment and explain something else first and do a little bit of a segue or answer some questions. And I don't want to have this showing up anymore when I'm answering questions. I want to get rid of it. Well, the easiest and fastest way to do that on the fly in the moment is to take your keyboard. And if you go to your keyboard and you hit the letter B, yes, B for black, B for blank, letter B, just hit the letter B key, it makes a black slide. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Very nice. You hit the B again and it comes back at the exact same spot where you were before. You hit the B, you hit the space bar, it comes back to the same place as well. Now, everybody always asks, what do the other keys do? And this only works in slideshow mode. It has to already be in slideshow mode for it to work. And everybody always asks, are there any other quick key things that it does in slideshow mode as well with the other ones? The other one is with the W key. If you hit W, it makes a white slide. I don't know why you would want a white slide as a presenter, though. I mean, unless you're making like little shadow puppets or something, which is kind of odd. You really don't need to have a white slide. The other keys don't work like that, so there's no like P for purple or B for blue, well, B is for black or blank. Bad example. P for pink, how's that? P for pink, P for purple, R for red, it doesn't know. The only things that work are W for white and B for black. But it is nice. But here's the thing, if you're going to use the B key, you've got to get to the computer. And if you're in a large lecture hall and you can't get to the computer very easily, maybe that's not a good thing, because then you've got to run back all the way to the computer and hit the B key. It can be kind of awkward. So what I always tell people to do is just to plan for using black slides throughout your presentation. Plan for there to be a moment when you're going to take a pause, when you're going to answer some questions, when you're going to go on a tangent. And so I tell them, go ahead and build them in beforehand. So I'm going into the slide sorter view. And I'm just going to usually I just take my title slide because it's one of the easiest slides. It has the less things on it usually. I'm going to make a copy of it just by hitting the control key on my keyboard. And you notice I have it selected. So if you select it, it has this orange square around it, rectangle, whatever that is, around it. And you hit the control key and then you slide it to the side and it will make an exact duplicate. You can make a million of these things super easy. It's super fast. There are way too many of them here now. So let's go ahead and get rid of those. There's too many. Okay, undo, undo, undo. So we only need two. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. I'm going to get rid of all the pieces on it. All the pieces. I don't even like to see this, even though that really doesn't even show up in slideshow mode. But I don't like to have anything. Nothing on there. It's a completely blank slide. That is a blank or a black slide. And that is what you want. That is a good thing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of these. And to make a bunch of them, like I said, you just hit the control key and then you just move and you can make a bazillion of them in no time at all. And then I'm going to move them around. So I'm going to put one in between each of my visible slides. What I usually recommend to people is you put one in between each visible slide. So when you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, visible, black slide, visible, black slide, visible, black slide. And then at the end, I usually put a whole bunch of black slides. Don't be shy here, people. Put a whole bunch. And the reason is because if you don't, then people end up having it open up into slideshow mode. And that's really ugly, and you don't want that. And if you hit B at that point, it doesn't work because you're out of slideshow mode. And it's not a good thing. So when I put them in between every single one of them here, then what I can do is when I'm in slideshow mode, okay, I've got my title, I'm going to get rid of that. And then we've got black slide. I can talk and take questions and do whatever I need to do. And then when I'm ready for that visible slide, I just click once and there it is. And then I get rid of it again. And let's say after I talk about interaction styles, I want to go into the next main point about gender patterns really quickly. Well, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've got a black slide there. What do I do? Well, then you just double click. See, it just comes up really fast. Nobody even notices it. So you can click through them fast or you can click through them slow. I kind of click a lot when I'm in presentation mode. Sometimes I get nervous. And so I like to have a couple black slides at the end, so if I click a couple of times, it doesn't open up. Now, if you click beyond the slides that you have, you'll notice that it comes up with that end of slideshow. You're out of slideshow mode at this point. And once you click out of that, that's it. You have that slide sorter view, and your whole audience is seeing that's a bunch of mess. And if you hit the B key on your keyboard, I've seen people do this. They're like, B, why is it not working? Why is it not working? And then they'll go and they'll click on a slide, and they'll be like, why is this not working? And they'll hit B. Don't be that person. You don't want to be that. Put a whole bunch of black slides at the end of your presentation, and that way you won't accidentally click out of your PowerPoint. And the wonderful thing with black slides too is you can always go back. So if you're in slideshow mode and you pull up your black slide and then somebody asks you a question and you want to go back to that previous slide you're on, all you do is you hit the backspace key. It's not a big deal. If you have a really fancy remote, you could hit the right key and it'll bring you back too. So keep in mind there are lots of ways to do that, but I like to build in the black slides, and that way I don't have to worry about it. The other thing is that when you're looking for the B on the keyboard, if you're a nervous speaker, sometimes all of a sudden all these letters, they blur together and you're like, where's the B? Where's the B? That is not a good thing. You don't want to be in that situation. Just build in your black slides. Visible side, black side. Visible side, black side. Visible side, black side. And you will have a much better presentation as a result of that.